Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can tell by the video, we're going to be talking about kit bashing and how I learned about it. A long time ago, before I learned how to do all the terrain and crap like you've been seeing around on my channel and other channels, which are probably better than mine, I started making my own miniatures because I saw how D&D could be played in 3D, and I was like, heck yeah, so I started sculpting. Well, I didn't do too badly. I still have the minis. I mean, I could I could give rough shapes. I could sculpt okay amounts of detail. It wasn't like Reaper miniatures or anything like that. Excuse me. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't good, but it wasn't terrible. So, but after a while, I got swamped. I felt like I hit a wall basically because I had all these ideas I wanted to do, and it's like the whole your eye is bigger than your stomach, or whatever the hell that saying is. I don't know the saying. I'm frazzled because I'm trying to one-shot a video like an idiot. But I had more ideas than my skills could allow. So basically, I gave in after hitting a wall and started just buying minis. Well, after seeing that some of them are kind of expensive, especially if you're looking for specific ones, I just took to trying to find out better ways to make miniatures, and then, due to the glories of YouTube, I stumbled across a channel known as Miniature Mashups. If you have not checked out his channel, do it now. I'm serious. Do it now. The guy is awesome. He teaches you a lot of really cool ways to save some money on some miniatures from how you can basically just take two hero clicks, push them together, and then boom, Centaur. That's a good way to put it. But I learned a lot. I saw how he made a lot of miniatures and stuff, and they looked awesome. Some of them looked far better than some of the Reaper ones that I've seen. And it was a simple thing. Like, just take a hero click or one from a board game and just give it a new paint job, maybe switch out some weapons, and boom, you can easily have it like that. And well, I just took to that. Funny enough, I actually learned about DM Scotty through his channel, believe it or not. And it just kind of sprouted from there. I was just like, well, I was watching his Purple Worm video. That's it. It's an awesome video if you've ever seen that. And I saw him, he showed DM Scotty, and I was just sitting there thinking, wait, well, if he learned from that guy, might as well check it out myself. And now I can't stop gluing things together and getting stuck to the table. That's another story for another time. But anyway, so that way y'all don't hear the crap flowing forth from my mouth and seeing me struggle over these sentences. I'm going to basically pull you over here to the table, and I'm going to show you some of the pretty cool things that I've made by using basically what I learned from the Miniature Mashups channel. So, let's roll. Okay. Now that we're over here at the table, I'm gonna start by showing you a miniature that I saw. I saw one of these specifically during one of Dave over Miniature Mashups. The guy that runs it is Dave O'Gara. I should have mentioned that before, but I'm a nincompoop and I completely forgot. I completely forget, and I don't like to use a script. So we live and we learn. So here we go. But this one I saw during one of his earlier videos, and I just like the look of it, so I basically just, it was one of the first ones I went to attempt. It's like a drow priestess, kind of like a big muscled up drow priestess character, if it'll focus. I saw this mini on one of his channels, and I just had to replicate it because I liked the way it looked. Now his has a slightly different paint job and a mace instead of a sword. This is actually an Anaconda mini, an Anaconda hero click. Sorry about that. And I just basically swapped out, stripped the paint off her with with acetone, and then I took. Now the sword is actually, if any of you are familiar with Reaper miniatures, there is a set of familiars, and this one is actually like a sword that's in a stone with a bird on the handle. Well, what I did was I removed the stone, made the blade kind of slanted, almost katana-like, and I took the bird off and put it on a different mini. If the camera will focus again. But also, if you look carefully, get it to focus, maybe. No, perhaps. Okay, we'll just sit back here then. Okay, this is also one of the only times I ever put eyes on a drow mini and it actually worked. So yeah, that was one of the minis that I exactly created from one of his videos, and it's pretty good if I say so. It definitely it actually scared one of my players because when she heard they were fighting dark elves, she expected these dainty little crossbow slinging knife wielders, and then, well, this came out of the spider temple, and she lost her shit. And now on to a mini that I said now, the bird that went off of this. I kitbashed my own town guards, but I apparently can't find them at the moment, so that's a bit of a problem. But I wanted a captain of the guard, so I took this one. And if you've ever seen the Miniature Masters video about the Technolog or Castlecraft minis, you'll see this one there too. And basically what I did was I took this guy, and I actually didn't strip the paint off of this guy. I left him as it is because I actually thought his eyes were somewhat decent, and I wanted to leave it that way. I wanted to be lazy. But he actually was missing this arm, because it comes up here and there's this hero click, or I can't remember. It's from the same company that's the Ian Nottingham hero click and the Darkness hero click. I can't remember what company that is, but his name is Brom or something like that. And this hero click is horrible for snapping off here at the elbow. But funny enough, I actually had a hero click with these big, almost like falconer gloves, and his arm had actually snapped off there as well. Since I used that hero click for a corpse token of some a little dead body, I just took the arm and put on here, and then put the bird on his forearm there, and I think it came out pretty dang good. Then I painted his cape and, well, tried my best to make it look nice, and then I tried to give him a magical effect on his sword here, which I don't think I did too bad. Could have did a lot worse. Yeah, I think it does pretty good for he stands a little bit taller than the actual town guard, so he definitely, other than his obvious different clothes, he kind of towers over the guards, which makes him a pretty good captain of the guard, or a general, or even a king. Works for many things. This one right here was actually really cool to make, because I actually have a couple of, if you remember the game Heroescape, I actually have two red samurai looking guys, but I wanted I just thought it'd be pretty cool to have a samurai archer. Well, this was an old hero click, this was an old silver samurai hero click that I had from a long time ago, but due to some previous things, he got mucked up, and I had to cut the little emblem on his helmet off, and these right here were just his hip guards were just gnarled up from something, so I had to just cut those off and try to make it look right. I put a bow in his hand, and I found I had an Arwen miniature, and I used blue stuff to make a mold off the quiver on her back, and I got a little pile of these quivers that I use when I want to make archers, and it's really good. I think he came up pretty dang good. I tried to paint him up in the same scheme as the Hero Quest Samurais. Sorry, I am getting far ahead of my mouth is moving faster than I am, and that's really bad. It can easily be taken in bad directions. But we're gonna move on. He's pretty good. He's got the pose, and yeah, it works out really well. This guy should be able to notice this guy. This is actually a Craven hero click, and I simply repainted him after giving him a bath in acetone, and I made a mold of a shield that I had and a sword, put him in there, and he makes a really good bandit, or a Viking, a barbarian, you know, just a typical enemy for anyone to fight against or play. Kind of gave him accidentally almost painted him like a freaking fire giant with the red hair and the gray skin there, and didn't really realize that until later. But yeah, Really nice there. You can make all sorts of things from just taking, just when you make miniatures out of other ones, you can make some really cool stuff. Those are just simple like repaints and a few weapon swaps. These two right here, I'm just gonna do these at the same time because I don't want to be here forever, are actually a hero click called Pal Driver and one called Doc Samson, I believe. I stripped the two off of these guys because in one of my campaigns there was well, in one campaign there was actually a tavern where there was these like two hired thugs that were going around, you know, hassling people. They didn't have any weapons, so basically they just, you know, wanted to, like, you know, they were just these big muscled guys that just came around beating up people. So I thought these guys would do good. They had pretty good, like, very like wrestler poses, and I thought it'd be cool to just, you know, strip the paint and put them on there. Also, if you can't see Pile Driver here, yeah, you probably can't see due to my crappy camera. Pile Driver is actually almost cross-eyed, so his pose is just like, "Duh, duh, I hit the punch you." And Doc Samson's like, "Hey, man, just shut up, man." Okay, that's enough of that stupid stuff. Anyway, these guys actually did really good. I actually, from one of Dave's videos about where he turned a Hulk hero click into a troll, no, a ogre assassin or something like that. I actually learned how to do like painting and stuff to make this guy look flush in his chest and things, make a little bit of red, and it made him look a whole lot better. Like, he looked really good. But yeah, these guys right here, they did really good, especially in the like the random arenas that my friends like to put together sometimes for whenever I'm not the DM. Like, there's always them fodder guys that just get like slaughtered. So that's usually what these guys are, unless someone wants to play like a pugilist, someone who just uses their fists. That was really good. Carrying along the same thing here. These guys, I think these guys were called the Crimson Shroud or the Crimson Avenger or something like that. I don't remember, but like they, I just stripped the paints off them. They had a little pistol in their hands, but I cut those off because I was rounding out my collection of townsfolk, and I needed some clergyman type guys. So I thought these guys would do good for like journeymen or not journeymen, missionaries or something. But they kind of ended up looking more like poison dealers or vagabonds or thieves and such. So they kind of have a lot of things. They kind of take the place of a lot of things in my games, and they didn't do too bad. These were the first minis I ever used. What's that one? Agrex Earthshade on. Yeah, I did that as a test, and I think they came out pretty good. One's blonde and one's a redhead, if you can't tell. These guys are pretty good. They're a little hard to get under the hat though, but they're pretty good. I use these guys a lot in my games because there's always room for a shady looking person that's always like lurking around a corner somewhere. Speaking of clergymen and stuff, I actually I was needing an actual like priest for one of my games, and funny enough, I think this is a horror click, or maybe he is a hero click. I can't remember. It's actually, if you can't tell, it's actually a Rasputin. Hero click, horror click. I just stripped the paint off him, took the sword out of his hand. Okay, sorry about that. I have no idea what happened. My camera just decided to give me the proverbial middle finger and just stop recording. As I was saying, I took the. You can still see he has a bit of a pentagram on his chest. I tried to Dremel that off with my Dremel tool as best I can, and this was one of the guys that I first tried freehand sculpting with green stuff, and I wanted to keep it simple. So because he's got a pretty good like robe and hooded robe thing going on. He's got that back blasphemers kind of stance going. So I thought, let's keep it simple. I gave him a tiny belt that goes around his waist, and I gave him like I don't know what you would call this thing. I wanted to call it a shawl at one point, but I know that's not it. It's like I wanted to give him like a ritual scarf kind of thing, and give him a different paint scheme. Well, actually not too much of a different paint scheme. All I did was instead of giving him a black beard, he got a white beard and white eyebrows. But he's actually pretty good. He makes a really good Now, when they're normally like this, if you sculpt a hood on them or something, like, they make really good cultists. They cut, or even ghosts, because, you know, he's got that very ghostly lean, like a just gliding at you. But he's a really good one. Speaking of ghosts, if any of y'all have Mage Knight, here's a shade. I tried to. I learned this paint scheme from Miniature Masters, of course, but instead of using blues and stuff, I wanted to try purples, and it didn't come out quite as good as I wanted, but it's actually still pretty good. I use this guy every once in a while to bust this guy out every once in a while whenever I need to spook some people during the games, and he works really good. One of my buddies actually managed to. He actually like got a weapon that summoned a ghost, and basically we use this. It's pretty good. Alright, a little more. There we go. Now this is I wanted a Death Knight. So basically, yeah, I gotta rebase this guy. He's still in the working process. I wanted a decent Death Knight, because where I bought some skeleton minis from Caesar Miniatures, which were a pain to get a hold of. I did not realize it would be that hard. But yeah, once I got them, I wanted to have I wanted to have a Death Knight that's very, leading the army. And due to an awesome find of HeroClix, this guy is actually three different parts. The body is there's the name at. The HeroClix that I got this guy from, the body from the neck down is a HeroClix called the Swordsman, or just Swordsman, and he's very leading the charge, so to say. And funny enough, the cape is actually from a HeroClix called Catman. And yes, I know it sounds an awful lot like Batman. He is from the Batman line, but he is literally called Catman. He is, imagine Batman but orange and with a cat symbol on his chest. I actually had to do a double take when I found that guy. But his cape was perfect for this. And the head is actually from a Taskmaster miniature that I got him, but he was too crouched down to use normally, so I just took his head off. I basically decapitated him and put him on here and made this pretty decent looking Death Knight. I'm actually pretty proud of him. I've used him in a few games and he's doing pretty good. There we go. Alright, moving on. When I was working on some HeroClix to make some more villagers, I needed some more noblemen. Because there are some decent looking noblemen, but there wasn't really any of them that I liked. So I tried to kitbash some. I had one HeroClix of Yukio. I think that's how you pronounce it, Yukio. I probably butchered that, but I tried to make since I was working on some samurai characters, she had a very geisha or a geisha style dress going on. So I tried to do a head swap with one character known as one HeroClix called Scarab. She kind of looks like this. As you can tell, though, this one, the head is still on here because I tried to do a head swap. It didn't go so well because, at first I thought, the heads looked right, but then when I had this head on this body, it looked far too little. I don't know why, it just did. So I put it back on here and I sculpted, basically I just gave her some waistcloth, tattered waistcloth things and a cape, because I'm going to use her, I'm going to repaint her as like a drow fighter. And she's got a pretty good fighting stance and she got spikes all over her. Thought it'd be cool. But basically, it just didn't work out with doing it on here. So I put a head on her from, I had several of these Abby Chase miniature HeroClix. So I put that head on there and used green stuff to sculpt the hair going down. I should have added a little bit more there, but I'm pretty happy with it. It just goes down, merges pretty well, which is strange because I've not been doing green stuff for very long, but it's a lot easier than I thought it would be. And then I used to hide the massacre of where I took the heads off and had to take another one off and re-glue it. I made a little scarf that goes down with a little gold trim, kind of like how I did for my clergyman here. Similar. And Yeah, the paint schemes on some of these are not that great. Like, they're way dirtier than they're supposed to be. But like I said, I think my Nolan oil, I think it's getting to the end of its life. I think it's getting to the end of its shelf life or something, so I need to hurry up and use it. This one is also a nobleman that I was working on, or a vampire, or maybe even a wizard. It's actually a HeroClick called Destiny. Now, I didn't want to, like, I got a lot. I actually have I have like 4 more of those Abby Chase HeroClicks. I didn't want to just have like a whole bunch of noblemen and wizards and female characters with the same heads. So basically, instead of doing a head swap, I actually just broke out the old green stuff again, and I tried sculpting some jewelry, which is around her neck, on that wrist, and her hair, and tried to make her own thing. And I accidentally kind of almost made her look like Elvira. Like, at least on the head, anyway, at least to me. She has a little bit of a vibe to it, plus the color scheme. These, my noblemen actually got used really good. They had a good use in the vampire game that I did recently. Sorry, I'm slurring my words. It's amazing that if I kept messing up sentences like this, you would swear I'm drunk, but I don't drink, so that's rude. That's silly and has nothing to do with the video. These next two are some minis that I made that I needed to make these for a rescue game, because the players needed to rescue some slaves that were wrongly taken, and they were wrongly taken and basically being sold to someone who was either gonna just use them for devious reasons or just kill them. So I needed like some almost belly dancer slave looking type things going. So that's how I made these two. This one is actually a HeroClick of a character called Ice. I think her name's just Ice. Give her a very barbarian, half naked chick thing. Because back when I started to do the whole, like in my previous video, I talked about making Frieza Force miniatures. She was actually in the list to do it because she had a mostly spandex suit, but her boots are fur looking. So I decided to go with the whole barbarian belly dancer thing. She reminds me of something, but I just cannot put my finger on what it is. I feel like I made another like old school female character on accident. And this one right here is actually a HeroClick called, let me think, let me see if I can find it here. I kept the bases specifically for this. I kept the bases so I could have them to get the names right. And as you can tell, I'm not doing a good job of this. Diamond Lil. Yeah, Diamond Lil. And she had these like triangular patterns on her suit, which was a little hard to cover up, but I think it worked out pretty good. I kind of ended up making her look almost like a pyromantic shaman in some ways. One of my players actually did use this as like a sorceress or witch type thing, and I actually using now all the orange robe stuff and the gold pieces you see, I actually made out of green stuff, and the little skull buckle, I actually just accidentally made that by messing around with green stuff, and I didn't want to waste it, so I just put a little dot of super glue in there and popped it on there. But yeah, if you ever need, like, now, like I said about the clergyman, Reaper makes some, they actually do make some really nice belly dancer, or just slave characters, but, at the time, I was lazy, I didn't feel like forking out the money, so these two, filled the purpose pretty well, and they get, well, all these get regular use. What the hell am I talking about? Alright, these are the last two, and they are now, one of them is more interesting than others because it actually has a nickname among my gaming group, but we're gonna save that one for last. This next one is a HeroClick called Controller. He's a very, I don't know the character all myself, but he's a very beefed up looking guy. Put him next to put him here next to Rasputin. He's pretty jacked up. I thought about using him as like maybe like a half ogre or something. I don't know. or a barbarian, but then I got a pretty good amount of barbarian, so I just decided to use it and paint him up as make him a gladiator for the thing. That's why I gave him a goldish copper face with a helmet. He had like spike, real pointy shoulder bits, so I just kind of drumbled those off and made a copy of this spear here out of the epoxy and stuff, out of some Reaper weapons, sprues you can buy. And this shield here is actually a bead from a necklace I had a long time ago. I got a whole bunch of these now. And it's the same one on both sides that makes kind of that shape. I just took it and I did like that on some sandpaper until it was nice and flat on one side. Put a little piece of wire in there to pin it to his hand. He was originally going to have dual maces, but I couldn't. See the hole there. I couldn't make the maces go in there without butchering the entire thing. And then I just thought, you know, I don't have many spear wielders, so there we go. He's got a very "we who are about to die salute you" kind of thing going on. So I thought, hey, gladiator, why not? I don't know why I kind of painted him like a clay golem or that color, because I don't think people are naturally that color. Then again, I could be wrong. Well, you guys see my videos. I'm wrong quite often. My computer is apparently making noises. And now here is the one that is just hilarious. Well, hilarious to many of us, because this one is a really big guy. He is, and the reason why is because he's made from a Juggernaut hero click that I had for a long time. And here he is. Actually, I'm gonna have to tilt the camera up so you can actually see him. There we go. This is a Juggernaut miniature that I did a head swap with a toy knight. I didn't know what to do for his other arm here, so I epoxied like a shark's tooth to his arm, like he uses it as a weapon. And I took a halberd piece off of a ninja toy and cut off parts of it to make a sword, and the pommel of the sword is actually a nail that I had. And the nickname for this guy, well, I'll save that for last. The reason why this guy looks the way he is because I wanted a character, I wanted a big boss kind of character that would work for either a gladiator, champion, or a leader of the bandits, or even like a Fallout 3 kind of raider, just, you know, really weird Mad Max raider kind of guy. And this one filled the role quite well. And as you can tell, like, put him next to I'll put him next to these two guys. He just towers over these dudes, so it's pretty cool. But the funny thing is, this guy right here has been dubbed has gotten a nickname, and it might be a little, well, we basically call him Terry Crews. We call this guy Tiny Terry Crews because he's a big buffed up black dude. He is jacked, and he just kind of looks like a WWE guy that went crazy in a museum and just took all the armor and random things and apparently bones and just started like kicking people's asses and stuff. But yeah, after like a few games of this guy getting used, like everyone agreed that after actually we did see the video where Terry Crews did play D&D. I think that might actually be one of the reasons why we named him this. But other than the fact that he's buffed up all to hell just like Terry Crews is, but the name's, long story short, the name stuck. Unlike my idea to try to, stick to a script, which it never works. Alright everybody, that's some of the awesome things that I made from kitbashing and what I learned off of Dave Olgaro's channel. I hope this is giving you some ideas as to a lot of the things that you can do with, like, you can simply just take something simple and make it into something awesome. Basically, work with what you got to make it what you need and beyond. Kit bashing can save you money, because if you just, and also, it's actually a bit more rewarding, because it's like, okay, I paid $7 for this Priestess of Light mini. You can tell I am a terrible YouTuber. Anyway, But anyway, as you say, like $7 for a Reaper miniature, which is not bad. Could be worse. Or you could pay like maybe $2 and kit bash your own, and you know, you can give it, but you can have your own character with it. You can have fun making it. You can make a silly story with it, like Tiny Terry Crews over here. That one right there, whenever he hits the table, everyone, even if he's like an overpowered boss, everyone gets excited when they see him. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't gone over to Dave O'Gara's channel, Miniature Mashups, I'll put a link down below and at the end of the video. Definitely check him out, because the dude is, like I said, he's awesome. He teaches you a lot of things. You can learn things. He's even doing some cartoons now about different things, which I'm not going to tell you, because if I tell you, what's the point of you going? His videos teach you a lot of things. The cartoons are hilarious. The guy's genuinely funny. Okay, he's genuinely funny. He's not me. Okay, he's actually funny. But like I said, definitely check out his video. If you guys have kit bashed anything yourselves, please post it down below in the comments. I'd love to see it, because I need to steal some ideas. Don't tell anybody. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. Just go out there, keep crafting, have fun.